We're back here, guys, at the Latte Home Shopping KeSPA Cup 2015. It's me, Valdez, it's Moonglade. We're about to jump into the final match of the night. It is going to be Dark versus FanTaSy.
And man, this is a fantastic ZVT to finish things out on. I'm very excited for this one, Valdez. I have just enough energy left.
We're going to squeeze it through, Moonglade. We're going to get through this one.
We're going to squeeze it, man. It's going to be good. I hope it goes to Game 5.
Yeah. The thing about ending on such a great series is that it will give us energy. We're going to kill this one, Moonglade. We're going to do this.
It's the plan, Valdez. But I'm very excited to see how these maps are going to turn out as well. Get to see some more of the new map plays, and it's always exciting in ZVT.
Yeah, ZVT, definitely the best non-mirror matchup for sure. TVT itself, I think the best mirror matchup.
I like to say ZVZ's the best one, actually, Valdez.
But you're not serious when you say I mean, you might like to say it, but you're probably not serious, right? Like,
well, I mean, I enjoy it personally, but, you know, I do agree. I do like TVT more. I do like TVT more. I hate PvP.
PvP is fun for me.
It's interesting, but not as much as the other ones. Okay, I don't hate it, but it's not as clearly.
I would agree with you there.
Not as diverse. I feel like not as. It's like a lot of death balls sort of thing.
Yeah,
these days
I just don't like the fact that to get through the mid game you have to be super passive and just like not attack, and it's like who can macro better?
Who can get to that Colossus stage more, or who's going to go to the Tempest more? So it does take its time.
Yeah, it's got a lot of decision making in the matchup. I think, especially in the beginning. You know, making sure you can get a very slight lead on your opponent, and it might bring you ahead like later on in the game.
I just like massive amounts of roaches slamming into each other again and again and again.
Yeah, just roaches, no other unit.
Just roaches, man.
Okay,
that's fine.
All right,
it's fine.
Makes for fun matches at times. We've had some decent CVZs in.
Yeah, they can be very exciting too, especially if it's like Ling Bane versus Ling Bane or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that too often these days.
And if we do, they end very quickly.
Yeah. The players are almost too good at this point. 2015 KeSPA Cup Season 1, Round of 8, return match. And Dark is up 5-2.
Indeed, he is. Dark, I believe he got seeded into this one, actually. And FanTaSy,
I guess that's from the last season of KeSPA Cup, getting second place.
Yeah, he made it to the finals and lost to Hero in the end, and going to 7 games. Whereas FanTaSy, he actually qualified through the online qualifier, beating Sorry, First, Bravo, and Nado.
Not Nada.
Nado. So there you go. You know, he had a pretty easy run, but FanTaSy could do a lot better as well. He is actually a fantastic player.
He's not bad in this matchup either.
Yeah, that's right.
Really looking forward to this one. Bridgehead going to be banned out here for Dark. These Zergs are really not liking this map now.
No, not at all.
Cactus Valley.
Cactus Valley for FanTaSy. That's pretty interesting. It's not a bad Zerg map by any means. You know, there's a lot of space there. Zergs can get up to 4 bases fairly easily. It's not too hard to defend either. First map going to be Coda. So first time we're going to see that map today, I think, even.
Yeah, I believe so. And Dash and Terminal, we are going to get our second time on that map. Got banned out quite a lot here.
Iron Fortress number 3.
Yeah.
Pretty tricky map.
I'm not sure who got the first pick, actually. I know that Dark got the first ban.
I think it must be FanTaSy going for Coda and then Iron Fortress.
Would make sense.
Then Terraform. Dash and Terminal and then Moonlight Madness, I guess, would be what Dark wants. Shake hands. Let's get this started.
Let's get this rolling. Let's get this party started. We're going to treat this as its own best of 5. It's going to be our baby.
It's going to be our baby, Valdez.
We're going to take care of it. It's going to go all the way to the best of 5. It's going to live a long life. It's going to produce a lot of great stuff. Great games. Guys, let's have our interview video now with both of these players.
네, 안녕하세요. SK텔레콤 T1 저그 박영호입니다. 지난 시즌에 준우승을 했는데 인터뷰도 없고 그냥 패배전은 빨리 숙소로 가게 되어서 정말 쓸쓸하기도 하고 정말 힘들기도 했는데 이번 시즌은 그런 후회 안 하도록 열심히 해서 꼭 우승할 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 그냥 도발을 하면은 광탈을 하더라고요. 그래서 그냥 좀 쉬운 상대 만나서 16강일 땐 좀 쉽게 올라가고 싶어요. 지난 시즌에 이제 준호 형이 저를 준우승을 만들어줬는데 또 다시 결승대에서 만나서 좀 복수하고 싶어요.
안녕하세요. 해외팀에서 활동하고 있는 데드픽셀즈의 테란 정명훈입니다. 일단 저번에도 올라왔었는데 이번에 또 예선을 통과하게 되었는데 저번에 좀 아쉽게 8강에서 떨어져가지고 이번엔 좀 더 잘해야겠다는 생각이 들고요. 제가 요새 대회가 많이 없어서 이번 KeSPA컵이 정말 중요한 대회라 생각하고 있고 정말 최선을 다할 생각이에요. 이번에는 꼭 4강 이상 가는 게 목표고 이번에 대진을 보니까 좀 만만치 않더라고요. 그래서 준비를 정말 열심히 해야 되고 좀 TV에서 경기할 일이 많지 않은데 이번에 꼭 많이 할 수 있으면 좋겠어요. 네, 아마 누가 돼도 쉽진 않을 것 같아요, 서로.
제가 양대 백수가 되든 좀 슬럼프가 와서 게임을 못하는 시기가 있었는데 항상 응원해 주셔서 감사하고 앞으로 더 열심히 할 테니 믿고 지켜봐 주세요.
꼭 4강 이상 올라가서 오랜만에 높이 올라가는 모습도 보여드리고 싶어요. 감사합니다.
So just the big things I caught from that were that Dark, not really happy with his loss to Hero. He wants to face him again in the finals, and I suppose it's possible.
Very possible, but he's going to have to go through FanTaSy first, and FanTaSy is no easy opponent.
No,
he has great TVZ, and with these new maps, I feel like Terran has a lot more of an easier time adapting to the new maps. They're much more versatile, and they have a very straight-out game plan. It really depends on these new maps where the Zerg bases are, how hard the fourth is to defend, especially going into that mid game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot as well, as we have during every match today.
Yeah. And FanTaSy, he said in his own interview, he hasn't been in many competitions these days, and last time he got knocked out in the round of 8, I believe that was to Zest. A very close series there.
Yeah.
And this time he says he really, really wants to make it to at least the semifinals. So a lot of determination and a lot of time to prepare for this series. I think he's going to come in here and play some really sick games, Midway.
I'm excited, man. Recent times, though, he hasn't had much luck at all. He's lost to Solar in a couple of best of threes very recently in like the last week. That's a bad sign. Solar definitely not one of the ZBTs you remember.
No, yeah. Definitely falls out of memory pretty easily. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. He says, you can see the confidence when he's speaking and how he really, really wants it. He wants to get back to his high place that he used to be in, but having a bit of trouble. Let's see what he can do here against a very strong opponent, a very strong Zerg opponent in Dark. We are going into Coda, the first map of the series. We theorized it was FanTaSy's map choice. It makes sense. Let's see if he can get a lead here, or will Dark come ahead here in game number 1. Let's find out right now.
SK텔레콤 T1 닥 박영우 vs 데드픽셀즈 판타지 정명훈.
Down here in the bottom right in the purple. First time on this map. I think maybe the second time? First or second time.
Might have been the second time in the TVP. We might have seen it once.
Yeah, and this is, of course, Dark. You should know his face by now.
Up here in the top left for Dead Pixels, FanTaSy. Good to see him back in action. Big fan of his play. How's he going to fare against someone like Dark there?
Well, was it this map that... No, it was Cactus Valley. That Dark recently came out against Maru and went for a very aggressive Ling Bane bust at the natural.
That's right, finishing the job for SKT, winning that playoffs final. It was a beautiful play there.
Yeah, it was very beautiful.
Very, very well thought out.
If it weren't for Dark, Maru may have just all killed that team, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it definitely came down to a Zerg getting the job done in that best of 7. This time, Coder's the map. A little bit trickier to hold your 4th base on this map. Shorter rush distance and much easier to kind of parade push. Get that aggression early on. And we are going to see a pull first from Dark.
Yeah.
Up against a CC first from FanTaSy.
So, yeah, pull first. Not going to be too early. And he's probably not going to be able to get much done there at the base of FanTaSy while delaying his own expands. Probably going to take 2 bases pretty quick off the back of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. He plays super greedy. If he scouted early enough, going to scout that ramp to start off with Dark's Overlord. He's going to see no barracks up there. Be like, huh, maybe I made a mistake. Going for an early gas as well as Dark. But once you get link speed out nice and quick, he's going to see the racks and be like, oh, you went CC first.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Well, follow-up for Dark, maybe just really quick meters, you know, going for this early gas like he is. He knows he has a lot of time, considering it is a CC first, and it takes a long time for any sort of tech to get off the ground from there. Could, you know, just be greedy, go for quick tech, play it safe, get out those meters and play from there.
Dark is only having one of his drones mine the gas right now.
Yeah, pull the rest out. So, focusing on the mineral income for now. Got to be careful with this Overlord, actually, and Marine is coming out.
Yeah, I think he's going to sit it up there above the bases. Going to make it a bit harder for FanTaSy to block all the angles that an Overlord can come in to get a scout.
Yeah. Mining with 3 drones once again. Let's see what he uses that first 100 gas for. Could be a lair, could just be link speed.
What do you think?
I think it might be a lair, to be honest.
Just based on his play so far?
Yeah. But it is it is Dark, and Dark does like to kind of go for 3 base macro style and delay everything else. He's not one of those Zergs that will go for the fast meters, which is the other problem.
Yeah, I don't really remember a time that Dark has gone for that.
It's very rare, right?
Yeah.
I just wondered because he did get that gas early. It's like, well, you're going to make use of it. But I guess pulling the drones, you know, just focusing on minerals instead, just takes that sort of hit. And it's probably going to go looking for a 3rd base soon. He also likes to add in roaches occasionally, like Lingbane Roach into a later meter style, which has been doing very well.
Early 3rd CC coming down here for FanTaSy before Dark even sends out a drone to make his own 3rd.
Yeah. Should be around the 6-minute mark where he takes that 3rd. Seeing a drone go out there now.
Well, look at that, Moonglade.
Yeah. Right on time.
Here's that Overseer from before. FanTaSy remembers. And he does have a Marine in position.
Yeah, Hellions are starting to be made. Actually, only 2 are going to come out. Looks like he's going to go straight to the next tech here. It's going to be Bio. And he's just going to make another Rax on top of that reactor. Just a couple of reactors with this factory. Not going to be using it to take much map control. Just 2 Hellions to threaten the front, maybe slow down the creep spread, but only by a little bit. Get the scouting needs.
Really just committing to a heavy bio count instead. Even going to delay his starport here for a bit.
And there's that Roach Warren coming out, by the way. Nearly finished now. Let's see how many roaches he's going to invest into.
We also got a... Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So we do have a pretty large number of lings already on the map. Not gigantic, but it is going to be good support here for the roaches.
Bio production has started up and is looking pretty good. You know, he's going to have 3 racks. 2 of them have reactors, so he's going to be pumping out a lot of Marines. We don't see a Baneling Nest just yet, so I don't think this is really an all-in by any means. It's just pressure at the front.
Yeah. 7 roach pressure. You also got those links to support you a bit. But there's going to be that bunker still up as long as he doesn't salvage that. And Stim making its way along here. He gets even the scout of the roaches making his way across.
It's going to force out some extra bunkers. At least 1 bunker.
Maybe he'll just try to go for the repair here, but the Roach is going to pop up now. They see the bunker, they see the rest of the units, and he just turns back.
Yeah.
He's not going to commit.
Applying some pressure at the front while he gets all his economy up and running, his production. Evo Chambers finished up. He's going to start 1-1 in just a moment's time.
I think he actually freaked FanTaSy out into being very heavily supply blocked, too.
Yeah. That pressure, man. Alright, so we got 3 racks pumping at the moment. Reactor coming up onto the factory, so will be Widow Mines as well. No. Oh, there is stuff. Oh, oops. Alright. First 2 medivacs out as well. So this might be what he's lining up to do, some aggression. With Stim finished. Push out in the map, start dealing with the creeps.
No Spire yet for Dark.
No. He has... Looks like he's going to stay on Roaches for a little while longer. Going to start to go really heavy on the Ling Roach.
Yeah.
Bane.
Already starting the Baneling speed, too, before the Spire even comes down.
Yeah, he's also doing this thing that we've seen occasionally Dark go for, which is delaying that 6th gas in his main base. He just doesn't seem to want to get it anytime soon. Maybe he wants to transition a little bit later. But we've seen this so many times. It's such a weird thing. It's like such a quirky thing.
It's a Dark thing. You know, just Dark things.
It's just Dark things, man. Doesn't really want to invest into it, or he occasionally forgets. It's kind of interesting. Drop into the main. Not much here. Only 2 Banes morphing at the moment. He needs more Lings to help out with this.
They're going to be sniped out immediately. Doing not much. Lings running to their death at the same time. Only 2 Roaches going to force a big pull on all those drones at the same time. Combat Shields finishes up right now.
Yeah, this is not good at all. These drones are very exposed. And they're getting focused down now. 8 drones going down. And now I can drop back into that 4th.
It took so long for the Roaches to get back there.
Seriously. Now Roach speed is finished though, so he can get there a little bit quicker. He won't lose the hatchery, but it's going to take some real damage.
Makes it a lot more vulnerable for later pushes here from FanTaSy. And look at this, he's just gonna go straight back to the main. This is what happens when you delay your Spire this much. It's so hard to shut down these drops.
And he's gonna start re-droning up this main base. You know, he's only at half saturation at this point, as well as that 4th. He's got to split his Roaches a little bit better as well.
Yeah, that's also a big deal.
2-2 on the way. Against the 1-1 so far of FanTaSy, getting that +2 attack now. FanTaSy looking to be in a great spot there. Has the supply lead, has applied a lot of pressure, done a lot of drone killing, stopping the saturation of that 4th base as well. It's the weakness of going for that ground-based army is that medivacs are just so powerful in the mid-game.
Yeah, exactly. And we finally do see that Spire coming down. This is a 13-minute Spire from Dark.
Yeah.
Interesting style. I don't see the merit of it in this game, to be honest.
Not yet. I guess it just makes it a little bit harder to attack anytime soon. It does require a pretty sizable army to deal with a lot of Roaches and Banelings. A lot of good positioning. A lot of denying of the creep as well. FanTaSy kind of posturing up now. Might be time to try and make that push.
Adding in a bunch of Widow Mines, 3 at a time, in fact. He's got 8 out here already. Dark not willing to go off that creep just yet. Going to send the Banelings forward. The splits are fantastic.
Yeah, nasty down there. FanTaSy looking good. A lot of Widow Mines still active as well.
FanTaSy maxed out at this point.
Yeah, that's actually huge. Up that much supply already.
Ooh, a lot of Banelings go down, and still a lot of bio left over here for FanTaSy.
22 Banelings on the way, 36 Lings. 2-2 nearly finished as well. But look at that supply lead. Once again, 20 supply up is FanTaSy right now.
Good Baneling hits there. He's trying to trigger those Widow Mines. That was a decent hit, but now Corruptor's going to come out here. There's also a bit of Dark style coming into play.
Yep. Dark's got to hold on there. Is it Macro has to be flawless right now when you're up against this kind of pressure. You've got to be careful with these engagements. These 2 mines are active. Not finding the hits there.
Yeah, if he had targeted one of those onto the big ball of Banelings that was trying to run away, that could have been big.
Yeah, that could have been really nasty. FanTaSy actually splitting up a lot further down. Dark cannot attack into this unless he wants to take heavy losses.
Yeah. Looks like Dark, or rather FanTaSy, is realizing that still no mute is out on the map, and he's saying, oh, I could just back off and maybe go for some more drop pressure.
Yeah. He forced out so many units that Dark didn't really want to make, to be honest.
Oh, boy.
Oh, what a catch. Now that's a big deal. That could have caused a lot of problems for Dark and really put him out of position. Oh, very smartly focusing them down with the Banelings.
Yeah, the Widowmine hits not the best there. Gonna push forward, try to trigger more of them here. Getting some decent hits is Dark, in fact, and now these Corruptors in the sky getting rid of a lot of these medevacs. It's all super low.
Beautiful engagement from Dark, even though it's off creep, he's still finding the hits he needs. Running out of Banelings now, though, but there might be enough on the ground to help clean it up.
Yeah, not the best split there towards the end. And look at the the medevac count now. He's got 2.
Yeah, the Corruptor's wiping everything out in the air. Only 6 of them as well. Dark's macro keeps him alive, even throwing down a 5th amongst all this.
It's a really cool style from Dark. This is definitely a non-standard way to play this matchup right now.
Yeah.
And
just look at this, where these Corruptors are going. They're looking for this. He find it.
How does he just know this? He does have an Overlord there below the base, below the main, and he's just looking at that mini-map like a hawk.
That is an insane snipe. That just gives him so much more presence on the map, so much more time to maybe go for this kind of attack.
You can tell Dark plays the style a lot because he's really active with those Corruptors, always in the right position.
That's so intelligent. Never going to be an easy fight, though. There's a lot of Widow Mines waiting, a lot of active ones. 6 mines, all split up.
Yeah. And one of the benefits of this build is that you have so much gas to make a huge amount of Banelings. There are 46 Banelings out in the map right now.
And 20 more Lings on the way as well. Let's see how aggressive he's going to be. He's going to have to do something soon. Or make that transition, maybe even to Mutas at some point. He scouts out another Medivac. And Corruptors are en route to try and intercept it right here. It's going to have boost again there.
FanTaSy kind of on autopilot with these drops sometimes, sending it over a big chunk of the Zerg army and was still headed that way.
Now 3-3 is moments for finishing, which is the next scary thing for Dark. When we do see FanTaSy finally move out again, it's going to be a pretty tough fight, but there is some decent creep spread in the middle of the map now, so if Dark is in position for it, he can maybe go for a good engagement.
FanTaSy kind of pulling apart the army of Dark, getting him out of position here with these 2 drops. Or at least this 1 drop for now allows him some space to clear up some creep. Now it looks like he's moving slowly over towards that 5th base.
Oh yeah, the one in the main's going to do all the damage there. We actually see some Lings come back now. Where are these Corruptors while this is all happening?
Looks like he was able to find it out here and will eventually go down.
There we go.
And get cleaned up. But again, FanTaSy's going to get a great position over here, clear up a lot of creep.
Yeah, that bought him so much time, and now looks like Dark's going to try trade out Banelings for good hits. Oh, wow. Hard to say. I think that was pretty damn good, and now he's going to go for the follow-up.
The Widow Mines all are triggered down there back on the creep. You got to be careful not to go off the creep, though. Here we have another nice drop. Will be eventually cleaned up, though.
64 Lings are being remade now. Double drop. Two Marines left over. They're going to get DPS down there. Should be just fine. Yeah, another big engagement here. Banelings on Marauders because why not? And
he's just got so many, I suppose.
Yeah, he's got so many. He's got a nice supply lead still. Well, a small one. More of a bank than anything else. Just giving him a little bit of a lead here.
It's a big deal.
Double drop.
Coming both ways, in fact, Moonglade.
Good style against this kind of very light anti-air. But, oh, he found it again. Gets the first Medivac.
He should get the second. That one getting very low. The second double drop coming over towards the left side is also being tracked by Dark.
Really on point with this anti-drop play.
You gotta be careful with those Banelings, though. Jeez.
Yeah, not the most efficient way to use them up. And FanTaSy, he's kind of running out of steam. Like he's going for another attack here, but he just doesn't have an army really. Not here, at least. He's remade a lot, but it's sitting at his 3rd base.
Yeah.
While this is all happening, though, he has taken the top right, so he is essentially on equal bases right now.
But at the same time, with this kind of play that Dark is playing, you know, as long as you are very consistent with shutting down. A bunch of those little mines are going to go down to not that many Banelings. With a great trade for Dark.
Yeah, perfect trade. Still a lot of Widow Mines left over. They are going for the hits. Ooh. And here we go with the follow-up here. Still one active mine looking for a big hit. Doesn't really get it.
As long as you are consistent with shutting down drops with this style, I guess it makes it easier to make that later transition into getting that hive, getting the 3-3, and eventually going into higher tech, which we do see Ultralisks on the way.
Yeah. It's a very passive style. Like, we haven't seen him actually be aggressive at all despite these engagements. Oh, big bad hit there. Oh, once again, just really on point. Maybe some Vikings are needed to clear up these overlords so he can actually sneak them in.
Quite possibly. FanTaSy's just having such a hard time of doing, you know, critical damage. He's just trying to find any which way. He keeps sending these drops to their deaths.
And another one wiped out here. And, you know, Dark might just be waiting for 3-3 and some ultras before he even tries to make a move out. Oh, drones might get intercepted here. Oh,
bunch of drones.
Yeah, but look at that army of ground units. That's ridiculous. Widow Mines would have a field day if they get the hits, but they just don't seem to be doing it.
Not the greatest hits, and a lot of Lings left over more than anything else on the chase here. And I don't believe 3-3 is finished. No, it's not.
No, not yet. Nearly so.
And he's still taking decent trades.
Yeah.
Even look at the supplies right now. Dark is finally getting a small advantage.
He's just relentless. You know, his macro has just been so on point as well that he's never not had enough units.
Yeah, that's definitely one requirement if you're going to try out this build. Macro's got to be pretty flawless. FanTaSy saying, okay, you want to go late. I'll take a base very close to your house.
Yeah, that's an ambitious base as well. It's going to be, if it gets up and it's a planetary, he's in a great place.
Then anything is possible.
Then anything is possible.
If the Terran can make a planetary, then by God.
Well, it's going to be scattered out by an Ultra nonetheless. And I think we are going to see Dark start to be aggressive here. 3-3 is finished.
Oh, he's trying to go for the surround, trying to trigger a bunch of these Widow Mines too.
Oh, big hit there. This planetary ain't finishing anytime soon.
But finally a drop sneaks through. It's going to force a lot of those units back, in fact, to deal with it.
Oh, a lot of bio as well here. He's going to need to transfuse these Ultras to keep him alive.
Well, the planetary finishes, and it's being repaired right now. It's not going down.
Oh, too many Ultras.
Oh, man.
Ultras finished the job.
It's very close, and finally this drop is getting cleaned up.
Yeah. A couple of Marauders left over, and that was a great victory for Dark again. Very on point with his attacks.
Well, this is annoying.
Yeah. Still a pretty scary army from FanTaSy. Coming up here with 5 Widow Mines. And this could be a big hit. Oh, not really. Dark has such a great way of engaging these Widow Mines. He never seems to be taking these game-ending sort of Widow Mine hits that you see in a lot of other matches.
Yeah. It's because he's just got so much on the ground, you know. Oh, whoa. Bunch of Banelings rolling forward off the creep. A lot of them getting taken out without getting the greatest hits there.
You know, they're still on even bases despite all this, which is something to note here. Despite how great all the engagements have been from Dark and cleaning up a lot of this army, like, FanTaSy's by no means out of this because he just keeps the economies even, or even in his advantage.
Yeah.
Now, Dark going a little too forward. This is exactly what FanTaSy wants. Off creep with Ultras, and no Queens there to help out. Big stem there, and Baneling's coming in.
Baneling's rolling through. Oh, some really good hits there on the left side, but is there enough left over from Dark to clean it up?
More Lings streaming on in as well. The units are damaged. There's no medivacs left over either.
There's only 2 in the sky. They just keep on getting focused down by the 6 Corruptors.
Yeah, it's been 6
I
Corruptors.
would love to see the kills on those Corruptors.
Oh, one took a hit.
Some of them just went down, unfortunately.
You know, they've got about... Let's have a look here.
It's already 17 kills, right?
Yeah, 17 kills on these Corruptors.
Or maybe even more. There are 5 of them. I thought there were 4.
There was 6 as well.
It looks like about 19 on 5 Corruptors. And those are all medevacs. Because there's nothing else in the sky.
There's nothing else in the
sky. So keep that in mind. You know, how many medevacs have gone down? That would be an interesting tab to see.
Yeah, the value of these Corruptors is ridiculous. And now they're going to get an orbital as well. Well, that's a bit ambitious. They're only +1 actually as well.
Little mine drop coming through the drilling closet. There's so many drones at this base. 18 drones, 24 drones. Dark now down to 37, and in one fell swoop, his economy at the bottom left base is entirely wiped out.
Wow, that is a huge blow.
Hashtag Widow Mines.
Yeah, they do work, especially if there's like static defense in your Widow Mine, in your drone line that bunches everything together. You just take so much damage. That's horrible, actually. Considering their economies and how even they were, and how even in supply are now, the supply lead for FanTaSy, he might have just, you know, won the game with that Widow Mine drop.
It's so funny to say, but it may just be entirely true. Look at this, by the way, guys. 31 medevacs have died.
Wow.
This has been a long game, of course, but his Corruptor style very good at killing so many medevacs in the sky.
Now see Infesta's added into this army, which is going to help out a lot in locking it down and making these engagements just a little bit better for Dark. But, you know, his army isn't as strong as it was before. You know, not many Ultras in it. I think we only see 3 for now.
Yeah, and only 12 Banes. Right, a lot of his gas is going into tech at this moment in time.
And look at the supply lead for FanTaSy. He is up 40 supply right now.
Yeah. You know, in part it is the fact that 24 drones went down to 4 Widow Mines.
Yeah, that actually has a big part to play in it. He lost a lot of steam behind that.
And of course the other part of it is the, I wouldn't call it a tech switch, but like a tech upgrade from Dark. Trying to go for the bungles here, gets an okay one. Another one to follow up. He catches 2 of the medevacs.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not able to follow it up though.
No, and
Mules.
The thing that's really also kept FanTaSy in this game and now put him ahead is the fact that they've been on even bases for so long, and now FanTaSy's actually up a base with 8 mules at his mid-right base.
Yeah, base number 6.
Make that 12 mules. Wow. But here comes something. 4 Broodlords on the way behind this as well. It's going to make his composition so much stronger, and will give him a fighting chance when FanTaSy comes into attack. Oh, losing a lot of links from behind.
He needs those to defend right now.
Yeah, they're going to be triggering Widow Mines as well, which is a huge deal right now.
Does FanTaSy really have to deal with those Broodlords?
I think he just has to keep dropping, to be honest. At this point, with an army that slow, stay away from the fights. You know, just keep dropping elsewhere.
Yeah. I don't think he really has enough time to like make a big Viking switch. So many of his medevacs keep going down. He is going to try for the Vikings though. 2 starports coming down.
I think if he can buy enough time, you know, he's just going to be dropping everywhere. Broodlords are never going to be in place everywhere to defend against big armies. Decent-sized fireballs.
That is true.
I think if he can keep on that for a little while he gets his Viking production up and running, he should be okay.
This has been a fantastic game so far.
Yes.
So much action, back and forth. It's really hard to call who's going to win this one, even at this moment in time. FanTaSy looking pretty good, though, at this
Yeah,
time.
He's looking like he has a huge advantage in this one. A lot of bio being cleaned up on the left side there. No medevacs.
Bunch of Banes going down over there, though, at the same time. But that attack, that surround, kind of evens these supplies up a little bit closer.
FanTaSy's actually running dry. You know, his economy's completely slowed down as well. His top right base has stopped mining. It's dried up completely. The only one he has left now is the one that's being attacked by Dark. And if that gets shut down, then the game changes again. And so many SCVs are about to die. Oh, man.
So many of them went down. We're watching this fight here. FanTaSy is taking a great one. The Marauder soaking so much damage to those Banelings. More Lings pouring down. But will Dark have enough? Like you were saying, this very slow army. Slow to get back and defend.
Yeah, so slow to get back. Gonna have to remake that hatchery. But Dark, he has more mining at this point. He's slightly behind in supply, but he's shut down the mining now. Oh, yeah. FanTaSy.
You guys can see it up there in the top left for a second. More minerals, more gas. Look at this long distance mining. Just a few lings going over there and shutting that down.
Might even want to consider if he had a burrow there, but lings will do for now until he identifies it. A bio waiting over there and might make his move. Dark has a pretty fantastic army and he's making so many more lings. The Widowmine count is actually really low at this point too. Only 2 out. That's going to have a big part to play against this many lings.
And FanTaSy was never able to make a big Viking count. He's got 4 in the air. So as long as the Broodlord positioning is good, or even just decent from Dark, he could take a great fight.
Yeah, even if the transfuses are on point, you know, he's not going to lose them anytime soon. And he is making Corruptors to help buffer as well. Oh, wasting a Widowmine hit there. And the Vikings looking for the Broodlords.
Gigantic Ling run by over here to this last base of FanTaSy. He needs this mining at this point in time.
Forcing the entire army over there as well.
Dark may just jump on that. He's at first going to move over here and defend his own base. And maybe eventually move over to the base to the north.
Yeah, he's certainly got the army for it, just waiting for a bit. Looks like a few more Corruptors so he can keep these Broodlords a little bit safer. Not a bad choice at this point. He knows FanTaSy's hurting as well, but if he gives him too much time with these mules, he's going to catch up. And he's going to get even further ahead in supply at least.
Finally clearing up this creep, as our observer was pointing out. FanTaSy noticing at the same time. He's getting pretty close to that base there.
Looks like FanTaSy's going to be the one making a big move here. He cannot afford to get these medivacs fungled. Oh, so many of them do.
5 of them.
Massive mistake. Yeah. Cannot afford to lose most of your medivacs at this point.
He took out that hatchery that had double gases mining, but that's not worth it at this point in time, I think.
No, not for that. He has 4 medivacs, soon to be 6 in the sky for an army this big. Not efficient at all.
Yeah. We do see, it looks like maybe a Raven switch from FanTaSy. He's got a pretty high gas count. He does have those 2
not a bad idea.
supports.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to really help out against the Broodlords. Seeker Missile is going to really put them out of position or just kill them. Start getting rid of these remaining Widow Mines.
Vikings looking to challenge, but Corruptors nearby.
Now this army has no more area of effect. No more AoE. So Ling Bane are going to have a field day if they get the right position.
That really will be the clutch of it all here, Moonblade. Yep. Can he get the right position?
And that's it. Look at this Ling counterattack as well.
I love it. Dark still knows that this base is so vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing over here. Look at all these SCVs.
Down
so many of them going to go down. 11. He's only got 17 left at this point. Of course, he does have a lot of orbitals to get more mules to drop at that base, but still the SCVs will matter.
Looks like it's finally forcing FanTaSy's hand now. Deciding to move in. On the creep as well. Start getting rid of as much as he can. Dark, I think it's almost time for Dark to make that attack. He knows the kind of composition that FanTaSy has now. He knows it's pretty inferior. It doesn't have the AoE that it needs to clear up these Ling Bane as well. At least not for now. Raven's on the way though. Seeker Missile will help out. And here we go.
FanTaSy, you're talking about how his hand was forced, but I think he's hesitating at the same time.
Yeah. Well, both players really. Dark has played a very passive game.
Yeah.
He's just been on the defensive for most of it. Up to 42 minutes now, actually. Wow.
And guys, this is game number 1. Just want to point that out here. Getting that cooling tower, he should have had that down for a while, but
yeah, that would have bought him a lot more time as well.
Still going to be pretty good at this point in time.
Another Ultra on the way. Starting to make more Banelings as well. Currently sitting at 26 Banes, 5 Ultras.
Looks like Dark only has 1 base mining gas.
Yeah, he could actually...
Yeah, he could get some more of the gases.
The bottom left is actually completely unmined in terms of gas. So...
I mean, he's got 40 drones. so he definitely has the ability to get that gas, but
Yeah.
it could be a bit of a problem here in a bit. He's going to have to really identify that problem. Here come the Widow Mines once again.
Oh, are they going to find the hits this time? 5, 6,
Not
as
quite
many.
the same.
Not 24.
Yeah.
That's the important number.
It was a good idea by FanTaSy, though.
Yep. They crippled Dark last time. Still, FanTaSy just posturing around this one mining base. It's looking for that perfect engagement or perfect defense. Dark is just prepping.
And Dark still could use that gas. It's better to mine it now rather than later, just to have a bit of a bang while he's maxed out.
Oh, looking for some Broodlords here.
Oh, big bundle there. He's going to catch both of the Ravens.
Now that's going to do so much damage, but the Seeker Missile is going to get the Broodlords.
That they should. This may just trigger the fight.
Oh, it just might. And
What?
here we go.
Actually, 4 of the Broodlords still alive.
Forcing out a huge stim. He could move back now. That was a big stim, and there are not many Medivacs here.
Yep. Still a really great concave for FanTaSy. Will Dark force the engagement? Here we go.
The big fight finally is happening. Nice engagement from Dark. And I don't think there's enough fire here to even attempt to clean this up.
Way too many Banelings. You can't even split well enough to deal with that.
No, I think this is a long time coming as well.
GG.
Wow.
Game number 1, 45 minutes.
You're going to have a hard time fighting that kind of army with no Widow Mines, no tanks, no nothing. Seeker Missiles were a good idea, but not enough. Not nearly enough time to get as many Ravens out as needed either.
Very cool style from Dark, I have to say.
Very passive as well.
Yeah, he makes it work though. He knows how to win his own CVTs.
Oh, wow. That was game 1, Valdez. We got potential 4 more to go.
And I think it might happen. You know, Dark did look really strong on that one map, but again, it was Coda. It was almost like Dark wanted to play a very passive style and a very long game on that map. I doubt we'll see FanTaSy really play into his hand.